innocent while everybody else is pointing fingers. But is she really the victim here, or is there more to this story? Listen up, because Tiffany's got the whole town talking. She's not just the mayor of Dalton. She's also running things in Thornton Township, and now the FBI is all up in her business, saying that she's been doing some shady stuff with the town's money. And you know what? Tiffany's not having it. She's saying it's all a big lie and someone's trying to frame her. But y'all, we've got the inside scoop on what's really going down, and this story's got more twists than a prep in them all. And I'm about to spill all of it, okay? So let's dive deeper into Tiffany's world. You thought being mayor was her only job? No, think again. This lady's got herself a side hustle that's making big waves, and trust me when you hear how much she's raking in, your jaws are going to hit the floor faster than a drop mic. Y'all, Tiffany Henyard isn't just running the show in Dalton as mayor, she's also got her hands full as the supervisor of Thornton Township. That's right, y'all, 2 big jobs, one ambitious lady, right? But here's the kicker, the double duty is stirring more drama than a season finale of your favorite reality show. What's the big deal with these 2 roles as mayor of Dalton? Tiffany's all about keeping things pretty. She's focused on those everyday services that make a town tick, fixing sidewalks to making sure the trash gets picked up. But that's just one side of the coin. Literally, now put on your supervisor hat. And suddenly Tiffany is all about the people. She's out here trying to be a superhero, handing out resources left and right. Need help with their electric bill? Tiffany's got it. Can't afford a funeral? Tiffany's got it. She's just right there with her little checkbook. It's like she's running her own personal charity, but with the town's money. And that's where things get a little dicey. All these her trades come with a price tag, and a big one. Tiffany's pulling in over $200,000 a year for these 2 gigs combined. But that's more than some folks in Dillon see in 5 years. So no wonder people are giving her the side eye. But all the drama doesn't stop there. Some folks are talking about Tiffany being a super mayor, but not in a good way. They're saying that she's got too much power, too many jobs, and not enough time to do either one right. But Tiffany, she's not having it. So let's rewind a little bit. Before Tiffany took the mayor's seat in 2021, Dalton was all about good community events. I'm talking about festivals, parades, and the whole small town chang. Now it's all about Tiffany all the time, and not everybody's loving this new spotlight being on her. Instead of the town, people started side-eyeing Tiffany's leadership style. Pretty early on, they're calling her sneaky, especially after she set up her own breast cancer charity. Sounds nice, right? Well, it would be if it wasn't using taxpayer money to do it. That's right, Tiffany's idea of charity is using other people's cash. But is there something wrong with that? Doesn't it take cash for a charity to run? But there's definitely more to the story. While Tiffany's out here playing double duty, Dalton's got some serious money issues. We're talking more than a $2 million deficit. Y'all, that's a whole lot of zeros that just aren't adding up. So what's Tiffany got to say about all this? She's sticking to her guns, and she's saying that both her jobs are legit and necessary. But with all this heat coming her way, you got to wonder if she really is serving the people, or is she just serving herself? Now this information is new and definitely different than what we were hearing last week, because Tiffany's drama was just local gossip at the time. Now the feds are in town and they're digging up dirt to try to bury her career. But why is the FBI so interested in this small town mayor? Turns out it's not just the locals giving Tiffany the side eye. The FBI's been sniffing around too. And they're not playing. They've been talking to folks left and right, trying to figure out if Tiffany's been dipping her hand in the cookie jar, if you know what I mean. But here's the tea. The feds are all over Tiffany's business affairs, asking questions about how she's been spending the town's money. And let me tell you, they're not just making friendly conversation. They've got their ears to the ground, listening to every whisper and rumor about your girl Tiffany. But Tiffany, well, she's ready for it. She said, bring all the smoke, cuz she's not backing down. She's out here saying it's all a big misunderstanding. But what do y'all think? She's claiming she's innocent and that someone's trying to set her up. But y'all, the FBI doesn't just show up for nothing, and the fans aren't just asking questions. They've gone high-tech on Tiffany. They're using some fancy electronic surveillance to keep tabs on her spending. Sounds like something out of a spy movie, right? But this isn't a Hollywood script. This is real life, and Tiffany is the star of this drama. And it's not just about the money either. The FBI is looking into Tiffany's charity, her political fund, and even her own business. They're leaving no stone unturned, trying to figure out if there's more to Tiffany's financial dealings than meets the eye. But y'all, it gets even juicier. Remember Tiffany's right-hand man, Keith Freeman? Well, he's in hot water too. He's been charged with bankruptcy fraud and is spilling the teeth to investigators. Now Tiffany's trying to play it cool, and she's saying all the security she's got is because people have been making threats against her.
What is your security detail?
So we have about 45 officers in our village.
My security is warranted due to the fact of threats and things of that nature, but what people are not stating is it's in our CBA. That's our collective bargaining agreement. That's our union contract. So it comes with the seat. That's what people are not saying. I didn't make this up. I didn't just create this and say, I want security.
How many officers is it?
How many officers is what?
On security detail.
I'm not gonna say how many due to the threats on my life. So,
but if it's in your CBA,
it is in my CBA. I'm not doing anything wrong. I even went to court due to the fact of people suing me saying I cannot have a security detail, and I won. The judge said I can't have a security detail because it's already in a CBA.
But y'all, is that really what you need some protection from, or is there more to the story? It's not just Tiffany feel the heat. Either the FBI has been chatting with business owners and ex-employees too. Some of them are saying Tiffany's been playing dirty, going after folks who don't support her with their wallets or their votes. Now Tiffany claims in no sense, but her credit card statements tell a little bit of a different story. So how does a small-town mayor justify first-class flights and luxury hotels when her city's in the red? It looks like your girl Tiffany's been living it up. We've got tea on her lavish lifestyle, so picture this: while Dalton's struggling with the $2 million deficit, Tiffany's out here living like a queen. We're talking fancy hotels, expensive dinners, and first-class flights. It's like she's on a never-ending vacation, but guess who's paying for it? The taxpayers. Now I might be thinking, maybe it's just a few perks here and there. I mean, she is the mayor, but she's not the president, y'all. And it's way more than that. We're talking thousands of dollars spent on hotel rooms and meals and charged to township credit cards. And it's not just a one-time thing. This has been going on for a while. But y'all, it gets even juicier. Tiffany's not just using these credit cards for official trips. No, it looks like she's been accused of using them for personal expenses too. It's like she's got an all-access pass to the town's wallet. And she's not afraid to use it. But let's talk about these billboards popping up all over town. You think they'd be promoting Dalton or some local events, right? No, they're all about Tiffany. Her face is plastered all over the town, and guess who's paying for it? Yeah, the taxpayers. And get this, it's not even legal. State says you can't use public funds to promote yourself like that. But Tiffany let them tell it. She doesn't even care.
What will they say? Like, for instance, City of New Orleans has a policy that city officials don't fly first class.
Okay.
Do you have that?
We do not.
Do you believe you should have a policy? Because again, the critics are that you're flying first class, that you're staying in four-season hotels, high-dollar hotels, having what they call extravagant dinners, and those are your critics. Are you as a city official, in order to make sure that you'll be on reproach, looking at establishing a city policy in terms of how money is spent when traveling?
This is the way I feel about it. People will talk about anybody because they're not doing the work. They only talk about the people that's at the top, the ones that are doing the work.
Y'all, has Tiffany forgotten that she's supposed to be serving the people and not herself? Well, folks in Dawson are struggling to make ends meet. She's out here living like a celebrity, these first-class flights and high-end hotels and fancy dinners and billboards popping up of her face everywhere. It's a far cry from the everyday reality of the peoples that she's supposed to be presenting. And you know what's really got people talking? It's not just about the money she's spending, it's about what she's not doing. Dalton has some real problems that need fixing. But instead of focusing on that, looks like Tiffany is more concerned with her own image and comfort. Y'all, I'm all for giving people the benefit of the doubt. But when you're wrong, you're wrong. And when you're right. We just need some more evidence to show if Tiffany is actually in the right. Because some folks are saying that Tiffany's lost touch with reality. They're wondering how she can justify all this spending when the town's finances are in such a bad shape. It's like she's living in a different world, when where money is growing on trees, and there's just no such thing as a budget. But Tiffany is still not backing down and claiming her innocence. She's sticking to her gun, saying that everything she's done is above board. But the FBI sniffing around in all these allegations flying. You've got to wonder, will it prove that she's as innocent as she claims? Because people are starting to connect the dots between Tiffany's spending and Dalton's money troubles. And they're asking tough questions about where the town's money is really going. Is it being used to fix the roads and fund schools? Or is it financing billboards and this jet-setting lifestyle? We got to be in the town to run the town, and it's not just about the money she's spending on herself. Remember that breast cancer charity that she had set up? Turns out that's using taxpayer money too. And it's got folks wondering, is Tiffany really trying to help people, or is she just trying to make herself look good now? Like I said, Tiffany's got her dukes up. She's fighting back. And she's got some explanations for all this mess. Ever heard of a May needing 24/7's bodyguards? Well, Tiffany says She does. You won't believe why Tiffany Henyard is hitting hard at all these accusations. She's saying she's innocent, and that this whole thing is just one big setup. She's claiming that she's the victim in all this drama. Now I've heard of the government framing people, but let's hear her out. Let's talk about that security detail that's got everybody talking. Tiffany's saying it's not just for show. No, she's claiming her life is in danger. And that's pretty serious, right? But here's the thing, what kind of danger is she in? Or is this just another way to live the high life on the taxpayer's dime? But speaking of spending, Tiffany's got an answer for that too. She says everything she's done is totally legit. But where's the receipts, Tiffany? Where's the papers, the documents that says that it's right? Well, Tiffany's pointing fingers at the trustees, saying they're the real problem in Tiffany's world. She's the hero trying to help the people, and these trustees are the real villains standing in her way. So who's telling the truth? Tiffany saying all this isn't about her actions at all. No, she's claiming it's all political. In her words, this whole FBI investigation, the lawsuits, the accusations, it's all just a big conspiracy to get her kicked out of office. So is she really the target of some master plan, or is this just the way to dodge responsibility? Who the justice skills are tipping? Let's not forget about all those fancy trips and luxury hotels. Tiffany's got an explanation for that too. When people started talking about her first-class flights and five-star stays, she was quick to defend herself, claiming that it's a necessary part of being mayor. Now Tiffany is also dealing with a bunch of lawsuits from former employees. But guess what she's saying? Those are just more attacks from her enemies. So in Tiffany's eyes, these aren't wrongs employees, they're just pawns in this big game to bring her down. But y'all thought that Tiffany was the only one in trouble. Think again, because her ex-B Keith Freeman is now center staging all this drama too, and he's got a whole lot to say with the bankruptcy fraud charges hanging over his head. Freeman decided to play ball with the FBI. But is he telling the whole truth or the truth to save his own skin? So let's talk about him. Keith Freeman used to be Tiffany's right-hand man, her go-to-guy for everything, but now he's singing like a canary to the FBI. And what he's saying could blow this whole case wide open. Freeman's been charged with the bankruptcy fraud. That's some very serious stuff, but instead of keeping quiet, he's decided to cooperate with the investigators, and guess what? He's spilling all the tea about Tiffany's spending habits. Freeman's been with Tiffany since she became M. He was there for all those fancy trips and expensive dinners that were noted. So if he's talking to the FBI, you know he's got some stories to tell. And get this, Tiffany's lawyers are using Freeman as a part of their defense strategy. They're saying Tiffany was new to the whole mayor thing and had to rely on Freeman to make all the money decisions. It's like they're trying to paint TIY as the innocent newbie who didn't know any better, who was taken advantage of by Keith Freeman. But here's where it gets interesting. Freeman's not going to take that fall. No, he's cooperating with the FBI. It definitely could be bad news for Tiffany. If Freeman knows where all the financial skeletons are buried, Tiffany could be in some serious trouble. But some folks are saying that Tiffany is trying to use Freeman as a scapegoat, throw him under the bus to save herself. But is that really going to work? I mean, Freeman was right there with Tiffany for all those big spinning decisions. If he starts telling the FBI everything he knows, Tiffany might not be able to play that innocent guard anymore. It'll definitely be his word against hers, though. And that gives you a 50% chance if there's not a lot of evidence. But Freeman's saying it's not about all the money. He could shed light on how Tiffany's been running things in Dalton too. Was she really as hands-off as she claims, or did she know exactly what was going on with the town's finances? I'm sure she had to sign some documents. Well, some people are saying this whole thing is a part of a bigger political game, like maybe Freeman's being used as a pawn to bring Tiffany down, and some are saying it's just justice finally catching up to both of them. But either way, one thing's for sure and two things for certain: Keith Freeman's role in this drama is far from over. His cooperation with the FBI could be the key to unlocking the truth about what's really going on in Dalton. And for Tiffany, well, she might be realizing that her former right-hand man could end up being her biggest problem. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Or should I say the missing millions of dollars? Well, Tiffany claims she's been raining cash on Dalton, but the town's wallet is looking drier than ever. So where is the money? Well, Tiffany Henyard has been bragging about bringing in some serious due for Dalton. We're talking big bucks here. We're talking $15 million to be exact. That's a whole lot of zeros to talk about. But is Tiffany really bringing in all this cash? And if she is, then why is Dalton still struggling? Let's break it down. Tiffany's out here saying that she's the moneymaker. She's the one bringing in home the bacon for the community. She's telling everyone who will listen that she's got the magic touch when it comes to getting funds, but it's not adding up. While Tiffany's talking about all this money she's bringing in, Dalton's got a $2 million deficit and the town's in the red. And not just a little bit, $2 million is still a lot of money. Even when you're in the town, we're talking about a hole so big you could drive a truck through it. So how does all this work? Tiffany says she's bringing in millions, $15 million. But the town's bank account is saying something completely different how that's going to work. But Tiffany's got an explanation for this too. She's pointing fingers at the trustees again, saying they are the ones that have messed things up, so according to Tiffany, she's bringing in the money. But the trustees aren't paying the bills, y'all. What's really going on? Dalton struggling to make ends meet while Tiffany's living it up, who's making the real money decisions. But it's not just about the spending. People are starting to ask some serious questions about where all this money Tiffany claims to be bringing in is really going. Is it actually helping the community? Is it even really being brought in? Or is it just padding someone else's pockets? Well, some folks are saying that Tiffany is using her position to benefit herself more than the town. They're looking at all these personal expenses charged to township credit cards and wondering if Tiffany's got her priorities straight. Is she really looking out for Dalton, or is she just looking out for herself as number one? Now, don't get me wrong, bringing in $15 million for your community sounds good. But if that money is not actually helping the people it's supposed to help, then what's the point? Dalton is still struggling, bills are still not getting paid, and the deficit is getting bigger. Meanwhile, Tiffany is living large, telling everybody she's doing a great job. So somebody please tell us where the $15 million is going. I don't think Dalton's coffers are seeing it. Is it getting lost along the way? Is it even reaching the town? Why isn't it making a difference? Something is definitely fishy here in Dalton, and the FBI is following the scent to find out all these financial questions. And Tiffany's got a lot of explaining to do. She might be claiming innocent and crying that there's a setup, but the numbers don't lie, and right now those numbers are telling a different story than the one Tiffany's trying to sell. But while these speds are digging through a bunch of receipts, Tiffany is playing a different game. She's serving looks, dropping pop culture references, and cracking jokes like she's auditioning for SNL. I'm sure they got a skit coming for her, but is this just a smokescreen, or is Tiffany actually connecting with her people? Turns out that Tiff has some tricks up her sleeve when it comes to winning over the public. She's not just sitting back and letting the rumors fly. She's out here connecting with the young folks, and she's doing it in a way that's got everyone talking. But no, it's not just posting selfies and making up hashtags. Tiffany's taking it to a whole new level. She's showing up to board meetings dressed in costumes, trying to make politics fun. And some folks are saying it's unprofessional, while Tiffany is just laughing it off. Now, you might be thinking, isn't this girl in trouble with the FBI, so why out here playing dress up? But here's the thing, Tiffany's trying to change the narrative. While some people are loving Tiffany's antics, others are not having it. They're saying that all this flashy stuff is just taking attention away from the real issues you know, like the financial problems that we're talking about this whole video. Tiffany's got an answer for that too. She's calling all this criticism a smear campaign, and some folks are buying it. There's a whole bunch of people in Dalton who are still riding hard for Tiffany. They're showing up to meetings and defending her on social media, the whole 9 yards. I guess those billboards built her a cold following because she's got her own little fan club going, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows for every person cheering for Tiffany. There's another one calling her to step down. The town splits right down the middle, though it's definitely become hashtag Team Tiffany and hashtag Team FBI. So what's Tiffany doing about all this drama? Well, she's doubling down. She's out here talking about transparency and accountability, saying she wants to rebuild trust, but at the same time she's not backing down from her flashy lifestyle and calling out the bluff of the people. But let's be real, all this drama is making Tiffany more famous than ever. Every time she posts something on social media, it blows up. People are talking about her all over town. It's like she's finally become the local celebrity. And not everybody is mad about it. Yes, Tiffany's been putting on quite a show. But the real drama's just getting started. The FBI digging deep and lawsuits piling up. Your girl is about to face some serious heat. So what's next for Dalton's most talked about mayor right now? Tiffany's got more problems than a math book. We've got the FBI and her finances, ex-employees, SP&T, a whole bunch of folks in Dalton wondering what the heck is going on. And if there's going to be some consequences. So with these lawsuits, 3 former employees are coming at Tiffany with some serious allegations. They're saying that she fired them for not playing ball with her shady dealings. We're talking about punishing business owners who didn't support her and trying to keep public records under wraps. That's some heavy stuff, y'all. But let's talk about the FBI. They're not just poking around anymore. They're going on full detective mode, talking to all these business owners and ex-employees. They're looking into every penny Tiffany's spent, while Tiffany's still insisting that she's innocent. She's claiming this whole thing is just a big setup. But is the evidence piling up, and is anyone buying what she's selling? Well, the million-dollar question is what's next for Tiffany if these lawsuits go through and the FBI finds something fishy. Your girl could be in some serious trouble. We're talking about losing her job, facing fines, or even worse, But don't count Tiffany out just yet. She's proven she knows how to work the crowd. Remember all those social media stunts and costume parties at board meetings? She might just have a few more tricks up her sleeve. But one thing's for sure, though the drama's far from over, with the FBI still digging and more people coming forward with stories, we might be in for some big revelations. Who knows what kind of tea is going to get spilled next? And some folks are saying that Tiffany's days are numbered, and they're betting she won't make it to the next election. But others, they're still ride or die for Tiffany. They're saying she's brought more attention to Dalton than anybody else ever has. Well, this story is definitely far from over. We don't know what kind of bombshells are going to come through next. She might think she's in the clear of these little board meetings, but from where we're sitting, looks like the storm is just getting started. So is Tiffany really the victim of a setup like she claims, or is it more to the story that meets the eye? The FBI is still digging, and who knows what they'll find next. Meanwhile, Tiffany's out here living large on taxpayer money, it seems. But is that what being a mayor is all about? Well, y'all know the fans have been all over it, and it doesn't seem like they're buying Tiffany's innocent plea, because they believe in common saying. Until politicians start rotting in federal prison for a theft of tax dollars, they're going to keep doing what they've been doing: all races, all genders, prosecute and lock up thieves. How does this total piece of a stay out of jail? Shouldn't she at least be indicted by now? And playing with our taxpayer money, she should be charged with theft and removed from office. But I got to know what you think about this. Is Tiffany Henyard innocent, or is Tiffany Henyard guilty? Drop your thoughts in comments below, and then check out this next video.